Hello, Brian Morris, SUSE Solutions Architect, here once again for our fourth installment in our RMT video series. Please take note that in the YouTube description for this video is a URL to the setup guide and the URL to the general RMT server installation guide located on the SUSE documentation website. The setup guide has been updated for SLES version 15, Service Pack 3 or higher. Today's video will pick up from Part 3 in this series, where we outline the implementation of the RMT servers and properly populating their respective repositories. I do want to emphasize again the importance of ensuring that not only are the RMT servers at the same operating system version and updates, but that the repositories of each RMT server within an assigned group are populated identically with products and product versioning. This might save you troubleshooting headaches down the road. The setup guide provides a bulleted list of RMT server requirements you can check out before proceeding to this next step. So let's prepare our RMT servers for sharing the client registration when the request occurs. First, let's define what registration sharing is, with particular emphasis on who the audience of this video series and setup guide is, which is cloud and managed service providers. That is an important distinction in that to register a client to a group of assigned RMT servers, the client will communicate through the region server to complete the registration. The region server will direct the client to a single RMT server, and the RMT server will share that registration with the other RMT servers. The region server implementation and subsequent cloud client registration will be discussed in more detail in the remaining videos. The detailed steps in this setup guide are very clear on the deployment of the RMT server pub cloud package to the RMT servers. Following these steps in sequence will, most likely, eliminate troubleshooting issues, as a lot of the registration sharing is dependent upon the certificate validation between the RMT servers. Particular attention should be focused on these detailed instructions. If you do believe you have incorrectly created a hash for a server certificate, the setup guide provides you the proper steps to regenerate and share the new certificates, as well as restarting the RMT services. With regards to the RMTcom file, note this file is critical in providing the full server name and IP addresses of the RMT servers which will participate in the registration sharing process. Two very important things to note when editing this file. One, ensure that the IP addresses in the SMT allowed IP section are in the exact same order as the full server name in the peers section. Be very careful in the editing process and do not introduce any extraneous line spacing, character spacing, or tabs. Notice in this slide, the top screenshot is the default RMTcom that comes with the installation of the package. The lower screenshot is an edited RMTcom file from one of my running RMT servers. After starting and enabling the registration sharing process, you are ready to implement the region server. Remember that the region server is required to be the initial contact of a new cloud client for direction to the initial RMT server, and then the initial RMT server will complete the RMT registration sharing. And that concludes Part 4. I hope this has been very helpful, and thank you very much for joining me.